Good afternoon, family of God. This is Dale Miller, and I want to thank you for joining us for today's Lunch Hour Hymns. Well, as I've been sharing throughout the morning, we're going to be having an interview with Billy Beasley about his new book and book signing that's happening this Saturday at Mayfair. So let's get right into that interview, and then we'll be right into today's Lunch Hour Hymns, brought to you in part by Wilmington Caskets and Urns. Good afternoon, family of God. This is Dale Miller, and we have a special treat today. Local author Billy Beasley is here. He's written a book called The River Hideaway, and he's going to be having a book signing at Barnes & Noble's at 850 Inspiration Drive in Mayfair this Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. And Billy, we're glad that you're here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me. I grew up here in New Hanover County, lived Wilmington, grew up in Seagate area, and been living at Carolina Beach for the past 12 years. Was one of the first kids bused to another school to achieve real integration in 1970-71 area.
I have begun reading the book. My wife has completed reading the book. So I am familiar with the kind of the general context of the book. But share with us a little bit about what The River Hideaway is about. Is it autobiographical?
No, it's definitely a work of fiction.
Oh, okay.
But certainly, I went to school during the busing times and a lot of racial clashes. Mm-hmm. And so naturally, I drew upon that, but it's completely a work of fiction.
But so give us the basic storyline. Who are the characters in this book?
There's several characters, but the two main characters are Brett Marin and Money Wilkins. Mm-hmm. And Brett is a rich white kid with everything imaginable. And Money is a black kid who grew up with less means but better lessons from his father. And he's more grounded in life. They meet and become best friends through a series of circumstances, and that friendship is really tested by the racially charged times.
Oh, I see. Well, I have read enough of the book to understand that it's around sports, some, and I know that you're a sports guy. In fact, that's been your career.
Well, I coached basketball on a volunteer basis for 20 years, and I also had coached Little League Baseball with Ed Wilson, who was my mentor and basically rescued me off the scrap heap later in life when he took me on to coach with him, and I'd played for him several years as a youngster. And when you talk about getting rescued off the scrap heap, perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about that. I know personally, because you're married to my goddaughter, Julie, and we wouldn't have it any other way, that you're a Christian. And tell us a little bit about your Christian testimony. Well, I got into everything bad imaginable as a teenager. And I had a true Damascus Road experience. I was walking down a road one night and looking up at the sky, no destination in mind, don't remember what I was thinking. And as clear as day, I heard a voice that said, "Come and admit you're wrong. Come and sing my glorious song." And I felt this whoosh from head to toe. And I remember one tear coming out of my eye. Then as the years went by, you get frustrated, you make one bad choice after another, and I fell away from that. And came back just a few years ago, where one day I was driving down the road after a series of things. One big one was going to Passion in Atlanta. And I just remember saying, God, I was driving and said, "Take the wheel, God. I am so tired of doing it my way. Wherever you want to go." I had always resisted the path that he wanted for me because I wanted what I wanted. And the strange thing is, the two great desires of my life were the right woman and to get offered a publishing contract. I turned the wheel over. Both of those were granted last year within 5 months of each other when I married Julie in April and got offered a publishing contract in September. Now, if that's not God, I don't know what is.
Yeah, really. Well, it truly is God's desire to grant us the desires that He has placed within us. And that's one of the great paradoxes. So often we in life, we think, well, we don't want, if we do it God's way, somehow or another it's going to be less than. But the reality is, when we do it God's way, we really are going to be the most fulfilled that we can possibly be. Well, tell us a little bit about the target audience of the book. I understand that there's some romantic aspects in the book. Who is this book really targeted to?
I get asked that, and it's really difficult to answer. I have had people in their 20s tell me they loved it, and one of my favorite was an 85-year-old lady that told me she actually snatched the book from her daughter and stayed up to 3 o'clock in the morning the first day it came and read the whole thing through.
Wow.
So I think people that enjoy hopefully a good story, that's a drama, it's got faith in it, it does have some romance in it, it's got the racial issues of that time.
And it does have some strong themes in it that may not be appropriate for younger audiences. And it's not a, quote, Christian book as such. But as you said, there is a faith story that is within the book as well. One more thing I wanted to ask was, what was your inspiration for writing this particular story?
It was 1998, and I was sitting with my best friend, Jack Humphrey, and we were watching A Time to Kill, the movie A Time to Kill. And the idea came to me. What if this rich white kid and a black kid met on the basketball court, and I just said it to him. And I started writing it not too soon after that.
How interesting. Well, that's great. Well, listen, let's tell folks how they can find out more about your book and about you. I understand you have a Facebook page.
Yes, I would love for people to go to Billy Beasley Author on Facebook and like the page. There's information there on the book, blurb, my bio, the book cover, which was done by a friend of mine, Robbie Johnson at Carolina Beach.
What a beautiful picture.
Beautiful picture. He gave it to me free, told me whatever I needed.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Well, listen, do want to encourage you to stop by his Facebook page. And, of course, also want to remind you that there is the book signing that's going on this weekend on Saturday at Barnes & Noble Bookstore at Mayfair. That's going to be Saturday from 3 to 6. The name of the book is The River Hideaway. And how can people get the book other than going to the bookstore?
It's on the shelves here locally at Barnes & Noble, Pomegranate, and Two Sisters Bookery. It's also available online, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million. And also for Kindle readers, it's available on Amazon.
Okay, well, great, Billy. Billy Beasley has been with us and talking about his new book, The River Hideaway. And we've got a lot of great music and wonderful programming coming your way here on The Dove. Want to invite you to stay tuned and be blessed.